Cat TV is celebrating 30 years of community media. Help support Cat TV's next 30 years by becoming a member today. Your membership will help us continue covering meaningful, local content. Thank you for supporting your local community media station.
Board member roll call. Mike Gardner.
Angie Rowling.
Harry Percy.
Brian Harris. Bob Jarvis.
I'm going to ask for the approval of the agenda, approval of the minutes of April 14th, 2022, warrants, correspondence, excess weight permits, Paul Goyette, animal control officer, which will include kennel discussion, buildings and grounds job posting, camera research, which is the cameras that we had talked about for the illegal dump sites. Select board and planning commission member voting discussion, municipal planning grant, DRB, which is Matt Gardner, ordinance draft from planning commission for review and next steps, marijuana cultivation and retail discussion, town hall update, public comment, and adjourn. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve. I'll second.
Any corrections, additions, discussion?
We're just gonna add the kennel under animal control.
I think we can
officer.
just add the kennel under that. He's already on the agenda, so we can add that kennel under the
Okay.
animal control. Any more discussion? Questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Minutes of April 14th, 2022.
So moved.
Second.
Any corrections, discussion?
New York State Democratic Chair Jay
All those in
Jacobs
favor? All those in favor?
Aye.
Abstain.
Warrants. Payroll 422, $10,042.81.
Are we doing them individually?
No, we can do all these because no one, I don't
No
think
one's in
anybody's
there?
in here, so we
Okay.
can do, let's do the payroll. So together, and then we'll do accounts payable together. Payroll 422, $10,042.81. Payroll 429.22, $10,807 even.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Accounts payable 422.22, $30,006.47. Accounts payable 423.22, $7,717.59. Accounts payable 429.22, $20,883.03.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion, questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So carried. Correspondence. Under correspondence, we have a letter from,
We have two.
sorry, there's two letters. We have a letter from Foster Goodrich. We can enter this letter into our minutes. So I don't have to read the whole thing, or I can, I'll read the whole thing, that's fine. Letter to Tara, I appreciate the opportunity to be considered for Parks and Rec Committee. I grew up in Williamstown, Mass. at the top of White Oaks Road, and my extended family lived and lives in Pownal and in Bennington. Most of my childhood was spent hiking, fishing, shooting, mountain biking, and four-wheeling in Pownal. The college in Vermont, traveled west after I graduated to be a fly fishing, snowmobile, and natural history guide, Colorado and Alaska. I owned a guiding business out of Middlebury, Vermont for many years and currently own one with a business partner. After traveling for 20 years for work, I settled on County Road and from there moved to Brookman Road a year ago, which is where I currently reside. I have 3 boys and we all fish, shoot, pedal, paddle, and twist the throttle. I am passionate about fly fishing, skiing, pedaling, and paddling. We own a raft for floating the Deerfield and Hoosick, side-by-side dirt bikes and an adventure bike. I spent the last 5 years launching a hospitality development company focused on outdoor recreation. I permitted a resort in North Adams, Mass pre-COVID, sold it in 2021. Recently bought the Wildflower Inn in Lindenville, Vermont with my business partners. We are currently looking at other properties. I have attached my resume in an effort to highlight skill sets that might be relevant to the committee. Regards, Foster.
Foster Goodrich.
Yes, sir. Foster Goodrich. Yep.
And we're posted for the opening, right?
I believe we are.
Yes, it was, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They're always posted, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Got one more.
So I'll
Actually, they're down quite a few members.
Oh,
make a motion that we appoint Foster Goodrich to the Park and Recs Committee. That's what he wanted, right?
Yes.
Yes,
Yep. I think it's a great idea.
I'll second that.
Any more discussion?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I talked with him extensively in here one day, not to advocate for him, but I'm going to a little bit. I don't think I need to, but, I think he'd be a tremendous asset on the Parks and Rec Committee, for sure. Tremendous. So, any discussion? All those in favor?
aye.
Perfect. The other correspondence is from, Fred Miller. Dear Select Board, I thank you for the opportunity to serve in my community as the town health officer. It has truly been a pleasure to serve in this capacity and to work with you all as such. Unfortunately, I have reached a point at which I must relinquish the role in order to devote my time and attention to my new full-time employment. Several months ago, I made the decision to forego my retirement and return to the workforce. I have found this to be a good decision, and now in order to take advantage of overtime opportunities, I must free up my schedule. I prefer to make a clean break at the end of the current month, so in my view, I will no longer be the Town of Pownal Health Officer as of May 1st, 2022. Realizing I am leaving on short notice, I will try this week to write brief summaries of ongoing issues and concerns I have been involved in and keep myself available for debriefing conversations regarding my work in this role. Thank you all again, Fred Miller.
I guess I'll make the motion that we accept with regret Fred Miller's resignation effective May 1st.
He's done a really good job. He's tried very, very hard.
Yeah,
I agree. And I
I'll
think,
second that,
I think,
unfortunately.
yeah, unfortunately, I think whoever we appoint as the next town health officer from our standpoint, I think we should try to get a person that's, has the same views and the same demeanor and is gonna go about the job in the way that Fred has in the time that he's served this position, because Fred is, in my opinion, he's worked extremely hard to try to clean up some things and take care of some situations in town, but he's also done it on a level where he wasn't heartless with the people that he was dealing with. I think he did it with extreme class and professionalism, and also had the people or person or whatever that he was dealing with situation. I think he had a lot in mind and kept a lot in mind dealing with that stuff.
I agree.
yeah, he did an exception.
Did an excellent job.
And I think it would, our job as this board should, and the Board of Health should be to really try to find somebody who has that same attitude, same philosophies, so to speak, as Fred had.
Yep, I agree. Don't we have to send this to the state, because the state is the one that has to accept it? Does Tara know that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have
And we need to post,
And
right?
we need to post, yep, because Mike is the acting health officer right now.
Well, that's
Been in
May
the
1st.
situation. It's
Yeah.
not that fun.
Well, come May 1st, you'll be the acting.
Yes, he'll be the acting.
Yeah, someday I'll be the health officer too.
Like you don't have enough on your plate.
Yay me, but I will say that, in my capacity as the health officer, as long as I'm there, I'm gonna try to do the same as Fred. And I also am not going to let things just lay down, whatever Fred's working on. or has been working on. And I'm gonna try to continue to, proceed forward with the things that he's been working on.
Yep.
I have a motion and I have a second. Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye reluctantly.
Yes.
I'm not actually sure that I said that I made that motion correct, right? It's more, just so everybody understands, it's more that we defer this to the state. We're accepting his
Right.
resignation, but it's.
That's why I brought it up, and we have to send it to the
That's a
state.
good point. Yeah.
And whoever we choose, we'll have to send to the state, and then they appoint.
If you need a hand with that, Mike, let me know.
Yeah, be careful what you wish for.
I know.
We could be, we definitely could be, we could be leaning on it, Jamie, for sure. And I will, for sure.
You haven't.
Moving on, excess weight permits. What do you mean, we're do half this. Excess weight permits, Bill Lounsbury. Riggs Distler out of Jacksonville. And it looks like those are the only two.
So moved.
Motion. I have a motion, need a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Next on the agenda is Paul Boyette.
Come on forward, sir.
Sit in that chair.
Thank you guys for having me.
Mike, if you could announce, they're not able to click the link on the website for some reason. If you cut and paste the link or the meeting ID, they can access the meeting.
Okay, so we apologize. Apparently, we're having trouble with our Zoom. You're not available to, or not able to get in, but if you cut and paste the link, is that correct, Tara?
Yeah, it says that the link should be active, but it's not working.
If you cut and paste the link, then you should be able to get into the,
There's something up. I'm trying to access it now. I'm having the same issue.
okay.
Try with meeting ID and passcodes, et
Yeah.
Well, no, the link doesn't bring me, it brings me to the Zoom page, but it doesn't allow me to get into the meeting. It doesn't even prompt. for-
I had trouble getting into a Zoom meeting today at 10 o'clock this morning as well. So I don't know what's going on.
You mean for a different?
For a different, yeah, for a totally
It could be
different.
it could be a Zoom issue.
Yeah, it was a business, my job related. Not that this isn't my job, but it was my paying job related
Irregular.
Zoom meeting, yeah.
The link is clearly working. I mean, it is a link. And it takes you to a web page that says Zoom. But then the application, I have the Zoom application on here, it doesn't launch.
Right, so that's bringing up the page. Now that, once the page is up, you gotta copy and paste into each position for logging in.
So under the link, there's a meeting ID and passcode.
Right,
If they use a Zoom app, they can put in the meeting ID and the passcode.
Correct.
Or what's up in the meeting.
Okay. So for you people didn't hear that, under the link, there's a meeting ID and a passcode. If you enter that meeting ID and passcode, it should let you into the meeting. So,
Do you want to announce it?
unfortunately, Paul, I'm going to, hold you off for a couple minutes.
Okay.
And I
hey
will,
there.
yeah, I'm at home, but that's okay, thanks. I'm gonna give the meeting ID over, the air right now. The meeting ID is 815-3836-0576, and I'll read that one more time. Meeting ID 815-3836-0576. The passcode is 826573. Again, the passcode is 826573. Thanks, Angie.
You're welcome.
I'll give people a couple of minutes to get into try to get in.
Are you typing? Can you share a screen and maybe show that portion of it and then, the portion of the agenda? I would do it, but I'm not even in the meeting.
I say it's at the bottom of the agenda.
It is on the bottom.
That's what Mike read from.
Right.
I'm not sure how to do the sharing screen thing in my phone. So weird.
It sounded like at the beginning of the meeting, there was something else.
My class.
Yeah, it's
Going
almost,
on.
yeah. Well, in the meantime, I'm gonna sign excess waste on it.
Share that part.
That's the agenda, right?
Yeah, I just let you
When
in.
I did it that way, it didn't work.
Okay.
Hmm.
It also wants me to post it as a link. Yeah.
Bum, bum, bum.
Do we
You don't
think
have-
we've
you don't
given
have
him
to
enough
sign.
time, Tara?
Just give it to Tara.
Is anybody in?
So Donald's on, trying to get in now. Yes, we have a couple that joined, Rebecca and Donna.
Okay, so we're good?
Should be good to go.
There you go.
We apologize for the, little glitch. I don't think it's anything we did. Like I said, I had trouble earlier. A different Zoom meeting in a whole different, from a whole different organization. So for those of you who didn't see it, Paul Goyette is our next agenda item, item number 8. Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much for having me. Sorry for starters, I'm sorry for you guys' loss with Mark over at the Pownal Rescue Squad. I usually deal with Mark all the time and I felt sorry for everybody here. So first and foremost, it was very touching to me as well. Anyways, I usually have a race here every year in Pownal down at Maxon's Pit. And it came up on short notice that I wanted to have another race here this weekend. And that's why I'm here now. So I called up, and see if I could get the approval of the town to have a race down there. I believe I'm on the agenda for May 12th as well to have another meeting as well for another race that's in June, but that one is a night race or a day race, and then the day after would be a Sunday. So this weekend is only a single day race. It's a Sunday from 8 to 4 o'clock. I did call up the Pownal Rescue Squad to try and hire this rescue squad to be there as well. I try to use all the local businesses around, and employ, put it back into the community. I do this for the kids, just like everybody else here. I have a regular job as well, but I love putting it on for everybody. So there is a race this weekend, and came down here for the approval from the town. It's really what I'm looking for.
And you're looking to have that this weekend
Yes,
on Saturday?
on Sunday.
On Sunday, okay.
Yep.
And you're up to date with all the state's COVID guidelines and all that for
Yes, I do.
outside?
Yep. Yeah, I put out all the directions and all the flyers, and all the COVID rules, what we're up to standard now. Been doing it now for quite some time, so, very used to it. And I try to adhere to all the rules. That's why I wanted to call the town and make sure it's good. I didn't want to just try and fly in under the radar. It's not exactly flying in under the radar, but that's what I like to do,
And you've already contracted for like porta potties, all that good stuff?
Yep. Yeah, I use 802 restrooms. I have 8 porta potties coming as well for that. So with all the health codes and health laws as well, want to make sure everybody's sanitary.
And you've already spoke to the rescue squad and everything's
Yes, I have.
all set there?
Yeah. I wanted to make sure that was in place. I didn't
Right.
want to,
Yeah.
Are they gonna have a rig there? Or are they just gonna be on standby at their station?
They're gonna have a rig there, is what they told me, come down there. And that's what they've done the whole time, is always been there for us.
Yeah.
Okay.
I also have an EMT squad that follows around with me that will work with them if they need help. So that they're familiar with a lot of the way that the races go. I have my own EMT squad as well.
Okay.
Not trying to throw a wrench, I'm just asking the question. Are there any DRB requirements?
Large gathering permit.
And that, the only.
Yeah, how many people are you expecting on Sunday?
So we're probably expecting somewhere in the 500 plus range, somewhere in that area. But it's all day long. It's staggered because it's not all at once. There's different, the way the race works is there's a race at 8 o'clock and then there's one at 9 o'clock and a one at 10 o'clock. There's 7 different races. So the people.
So your attendance is gonna peak and ebb.
Yeah, yep. And, you know, in the morning, it's probably maybe 400 people in the morning, and then it tapers from there. It'll go down and then it'll go up. But at the end by the end of the day, it really dwindles down to, you know, minuscule.
Have you contacted the sheriff's department for
I have
security?
not. No, I haven't. For security, I haven't done that. No.
Okay. Because I know one of the last races, there was a lot of complaints about people riding up and down the roads.
Okay, yeah, that was on a night race as well. Yes. So I will attend. I will make the phone call for that also. I did not, and I apologize. I didn't realize until I spoke to Mike that there was some complaints. And I really like to try and police my own complaints as well, because you can't make it better if you don't know about it. So that was one thing I didn't know, but I will. I do have security that I bring with me as well. There's 2 gentlemen that ride around on 4-wheelers with security shirts, and they go around and they try to police it as well. But I have not contacted the sheriff's department.
You've done this in the past numerous times.
Yeah, this would be my 6th year here in Pownal.
So,
Go ahead,
go
Bob.
ahead. I was just gonna say, I personally don't have any objections. I think when we do when you come back in May, we'll probably have more questions for you, because that's where the night, the night is.
Yep.
We need to make sure that, and give residents enough time to be able to voice, you know, what are their opinions about it. 8 to 4, I wouldn't really have too much of an issue, but that's me.
Do you have camping going on Saturday night?
There is, we usually have people come in on Saturday night because they're coming, some people drive from 4 or 5 hours away.
What's the potential number of campers coming in?
Probably around 20, if I had to guess.
Are you there then?
I am there, yeah.
Okay.
I usually police the area as well, and the gentleman that comes as my security will be there also.
Okay.
Yep.
Do you happen to have anybody lined up for pumping the septic to the campers?
The septic set of campers? No, usually people come because it's a 1-day event. There's no,
Usually it's not gonna be a problem.
Yep.
But I do a lot of camping, and
Okay,
sometimes
yep.
when you go dry camping,
the
you get
same
the
as
people
well.
that will just kind of just let it dump.
Yeah, that I do not let happen. That is one thing that's, it's in all our paperwork and our rules. I have that actually is in all my standard rules for the races. Anybody who's caught dumping any of their gray water or black water out is disqualified for the year. So that is one of the things that I do pay attention to. Yes.
Okay.
So you're anticipating 20 campers?
Yep. I would imagine there'd be 20 campers.
Well, I think one thing I'd like to do, in my opinion, obviously it's the board's decision, because it is short notice for us to make a decision on this. I'd like to limit the number of campers on Saturday night. And if you're thinking there's 20 coming, then I'd like to limit it to 25 or 30 to give them a little bit of leeway.
Okay.
What do you do when a person shows up and he's at his limit? Tell them they can't come?
Look at, it's,
I hear what you're saying.
we put this on I gotta be honest, I mean, we put this on, I put this on in short notice, to try to get a race in. I think there's a couple things that we really need to research out for the next one. I think this has grown substantially, which is a good thing.
Thank you. Yep.
Okay,
And I
I'm not
understand.
saying it in a bad way. I think the first few years you started out with a couple hundred and now we're at 400 or 500 people. Okay, so I think there's definitely got to be some more permitting processes going on here. DRB, large gathering permit, that kind of stuff. So I think if you wanna come in, I think that's Mr. Goyette's job is to get this information out to his racers. If you're coming in and camping and we can set 50, I don't care. I'm just thinking,
Right.
he's thinking 20, I'd like to give him a little leeway and say 25 or 30, in my opinion. We can say 50. It doesn't matter. I think we should limit the number of campers in this instance. I don't think, when you say 8 to 4, you're gonna start your first race at 8 o'clock.
First race starts at 8.
Is your last race gonna start at 4 or?
Starts at 3 o'clock.
So you should be done by.
So it should be done by 4
Oh, okay.
o'clock. Yep.
Which,
So yeah.
okay, that's fine.
Yep. And the schedule is on the
Yep,
website.
yep.
So it's
And
all-
things happen. You could be a little over 4. I don't have a problem with that. I just want to make sure that we're clear on it. That's the only place I'm coming from is when you're talking 400 or 500 people, and I gotta bet that for the most part, a lot of dads or moms are racing after their kids are racing.
There is a substantial.
Sure,
amount. There is, yep.
Yep,
Yeah,
so,
I'm not gonna- I'm
right,
not
so,
gonna swerve
so
from
that number is gonna be fairly consistent throughout the day of that number of people to a certain point.
Well, it's gonna limit some
Yeah.
fluctuation.
It all depends on the
Some people come in.
classes of the race. So.
Right.
What do you have for insurance? Do you have any
I
insurance?
have insurance, absolutely, yep. I use, Jonesburg Song is the name of my insurance company, and it's the AMA's insurance, which is the American Motorcycle Association. I use the same insurance as they do.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think a couple of, like I said, I'd like to see, a limit on the number of campers. Could you, provide, that's a great question, Brian. I don't think that's ever been brought up since I've been sitting here. Could you provide Tara with a copy of your
I
insurance?
can do that as soon as this is, or
Yeah,
even
via
now.
email's fine. Just email,
Absolutely.
that's fine.
Yep. Because I get anybody who's whatever landowners, yeah.
There's not a doubt in my mind that you have
Yeah.
insurance, because if you didn't, you're crazy. But,
Yes.
it's a great question, but if we have a copy of that insurance would be on file, would be
Absolutely.
awesome.
And
I think
can't-
part of the large gathering permit application is required to show proof of insurance.
I think it is too.
On that one.
And I think in a lot of circumstances, they'll put the town on the liability policy as well. So if you guys need to, I can also adhere that to the policy.
And that's probably, well, I don't know, because it's not technically town property.
Yeah, so.
It's.
No, but it's private property and there'll be increased traffic on the road, so.
Town Iowa.
Probably having the town on there is probably a really good idea.
And we do that, so that could be,
Yeah, okay,
something that would work as
that'd be
well.
perfect. If you can get a copy of that, put the town on. She's gonna give you her email address.
Thank you.
Just email it to Tara.
I know me personally, the only thing I'd like to see is, try to get a sheriff or see if you can get state troopers on standby down there.
Yep.
And just to try to,
Police it a little bit.
yeah, keep an eye on the traffic that's going up and down the roads for ATV traffic.
Okay.
I think getting a state trooper down there is gonna be pretty difficult. I think he'd have to go through the sheriff's department.
Yeah, no, that's kind of what I figured, but I just wanted to make sure he had, knew he had options.
Yep.
I'm not trying to give you a hard time.
No, I understand. That's why I'd rather go
But
for the approval of
the
the town.
significance of it growing from a couple hundred
Right.
when you started, like I said, that's a good thing, but, for the kids and whoever's involved. And then what's your pleasure on the number of campers?
I make a motion to allow the race for Sunday from 8 to 4 with Saturday night camping to 35.
I'll second that.
Paul, do you think 35 will be enough? Because I don't want to see you in a situation like Mike said, where you're having people show up at like midnight
That's what I'm afraid of.
after driving all night and be like, sorry, guys, you got to go someplace else to.
You're gonna have more trailers than that because
Because of the race being spread out through the day, it kind of varies. It depends on where it is. And we're really not far from, it goes by, if you draw a map of a 2-hour circle.
Right.
People will drive the 2 hours in the morning. If their race is at 11 o'clock, they don't have to leave until 8. So I can't guess on the number, but I would think that 35 would be good, but I don't want to go, hey, can you give me 50?
You want
I don't
50?
I don't know what the number is.
Well, how about we just not have a limit on it? It's only a 1-day event. I mean.
for this particular
For
time.
this one event. And then going forward, if you can for the next one.
So if that's the case, then what I would do is I will go around and I'll count the campers. So when I come in on May 12th, I can say, hey, there was 3,000 campers. Yeah, that's.
And maybe going forward, you can have that be part of your registration process. Do you plan on camping? We need to
Right,
know.
yeah.
I mean, the night races, we tend to usually get more campers.
Because it's a night race, people are gonna stay the night. So I can try and pay attention to how many racers there are as well as to campers, because it would vary that way.
Yeah, I'm not looking to be a stickler. I'm in full support of this event.
I understand completely. And, that's why I wanted a blessing from the town.
Then I amend my motion and just say that we move to allow it to happen this Sunday from 8 to 4.
I'll second that.
And, I'm sorry, just a little bit more discussion. So we get that. Well, another thing to think about also is they won't be open for this one, but we do have some local campsites that you can turn them on to. It'll get them close to the event.
So I've been racing for 40 years. And when your race is somewhere, you have a race, and I'm sorry to say it this way, but the best way to go is people love coming to camping. The kids play together. It's really a family event. I try not to, like I said, I go around and I police it. And the people who do show up are usually kids. They're in bed by 9 o'clock. The parents hang out until 10 o'clock and then everybody goes out. If you're at a local camp area and you go to bed by 9 o'clock, now you still have to get up and now you got to close your whole campsite, bring it to the track and open it again. For people who have camped, it's not the funnest thing in the world is to make your wife or your husband or whatever close the camper back up and open it again. And I'm only being honest.
That makes good sense.
Right.
That makes good sense. I was only thinking of if we ever did set a limit, which we haven't on this one, so.
But I can put that on the website as well, that there is campsites available close by. I can do that.
That would be for the June. I think
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
close
for
to
the
this
June
one.
race, yeah. And it's, for the camping itself, it's just people bring their motorcycles, they have everything.
Yeah,
They
extra
don't wanna
parts.
leave them outside and then, be subject to.
If they're running multiple races and something happens, they gotta rather go back to
Well,
the camp.
I was relating it back to the
Right
drive. I was relating it back to the drive time.
Right.
So the ones that are going to camp,
Right.
necessarily they're going to be the ones with the kids who want to.
Those are the ones,
Well,
yeah.
perhaps the
But it's also
campground is a
gonna be-
business opportunity for the person hosting the event.
But it would have to be very close, co-located, I guess.
Right. And I understand your question completely. So I do understand, but I can give that option. Yes, is the answer. But as a racer who goes through, because when I'm not racing my own races, or I can't even race my own because it's so busy policing it all, I go to the races and I bring my family as well. And it gets very overwhelming if you have to close down and move your campsite.
That makes sense.
Yep.
Okay.
I don't have any other questions.
Yeah, and I wasn't trying, I'm just,
Any more discussion?
I get honest.
All those in favor?
Aye.
You're all
Thank
set?
you. You're all
I
set.
appreciate everybody.
If you can get that stuff to Tara
Yeah,
tomorrow.
I'll send it to you as soon as I get out in the vehicle. I'll send it to you and thank you. But I will get the town put on, if you can just send me the info for the town, I'll get that put on the my insurance, the waiver. All right. Thank you,
very
guys.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you for having me.
We'll see you the 12th.
Yep, I'll see you on the.
You're already on that agenda, I believe.
All right.
Good luck, safe races.
Thank you very much. Everybody have a great night.
You too, thank you.
My question, I think, Tara, at this point though, if he's on the agenda for the 12th,
Well, he was, and then I took him off, but I can put him back.
yeah, we should put him back on for the 12th because he wants to come for the June races anyway.
Yeah.
That should give him enough time to get a large gathering permit from the
Yeah.
DRB.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
I just want to make sure of that, because I think his race is like 4th and 5th of June or whatever,
Weekend of June.
that first weekend in June.
Maybe when he emails about the insurance, kind of give him a heads up, he's gonna have to apply.
Yeah, I will.
Right, and I think that's probably, to be perfectly honest with you, Brian, I've never been through that process, so it'll be.
I don't think anybody's ever actually applied for one of those permits, have they?
Well, they're supposed to.
I know they're supposed to, but I'm just saying, I don't think anybody's utilized it.
And he's got, they've gotten to the point where he needs one, so anyways, moving on. Our ACO, Animal Control Officer.
Hannah's gonna join too down there somewhere, make room for her.
Just come on down, Hannah.
Come on down.
We'll push you right in.
Thank you for coming in again, Leonard.
Yep.
We'll get this squared away.
What do you wanna talk about first?
Why I was told not to do the dog census. After it was already approved and the select board told me to do it. And then I got a message from Rebecca telling me to hold off on it because there was legal issues. Then I heard nothing.
There was concern about the door to door, right? And I think maybe second thoughts. I personally, I know I had second thoughts about the door to door, and then in the research, it looks like
It was-
it's not really required.
Yeah, it's not required, I guess, by law. I just threw that stuff away. I shouldn't
Well,
have thrown it
I
away.
can
I
read
have
this.
law right here.
Oh, okay,
It's in the Big Book of Wolf
okay.
by VLCT.
That it was, not required. And,
Can I read this sentence?
yeah, sure.
Sorry. That by simply sending out a reminder to all those licensed the previous year to license and or inoculate their dogs, that's all the law requires of the town. So that's actually the minimum requirement.
Right.
Even though they call it a census, it's not a full-on census.
Right.
The dogs that get licensed are the ones that get out, are the ones that get caught and they're not that way, or somebody calls and complains about it. There is that possibility of a door-to-door for targeted areas, like you get a whole lot of complaints for, this park or this neighborhood, then there might be a door-to-door to do something in those regards, but that's really more, this has always been reactive, not this kind of proactive. And I think, I don't know, it
We really haven't had an
feels
active
like
animal control officer either.
You took the words out of my mouth.
well, but it's also considered a very low-level act of civil disobedience to not register your dog. Particularly if you're a private landowner, you keep it on your own property, or you've got a Pomeranian that is in your,
Never leaves the house.
on a piddle pad in the house. That's how it's always been done. So that to me, it just seems like too much to go door to door. It seems like more of an intrusion.
Right, that's what the problem was, I think. Of going on personal property and,
But when I get called for an animal abuse case and I have to go to that person's door anyway,
Right.
I've got to go do it.
right,
And
Well,
that's part of the law.
But that's not door to door. That's reacting to a complaint and going to an individual's property because there's an issue. So that's very different than going door to door to see if there's
Was
and I
there,
also think there was the cost effectiveness of it. Cause Julie had it all written down with like what would have been brought in would be like 1,200 and then paying you say 6 hours or whatever, that there really wasn't any money in it for the town.
But
I'm not even worried about the money aspect of this.
Right.
I'm more worried about the health of everybody's dog.
Right.
Being inoculated against rabies. getting them licensed, because I've gotten calls where dogs have no licenses. I'm supposed to board them and make sure they get a rabies shot and license before I can even return it, and charge the people $25 a day. A lot of people can't afford that around here. I'm not saying it to be mean to anybody, but if everybody gets their dog licensed, I have all that dog's information. I have the owner's information. I know where that dog lives. I can pick that dog up, put it in my truck, bring it home.
Being proactive.
Instead of taking a dog that I find in a general area, driving around asking if anybody knows the dog, posting on Facebook, getting several different leads, 4 or 5 different people saying it's my dog, then I gotta separate it all out.
Especially if it's a puppy.
That's why I don't post pictures of
I know,
puppies.
I'm just saying.
But, so you gotta consider the time I take from when I do find a dog that goes into finding its owner, rather than me going knocking on doors and getting an actual list like we're supposed to.
I think one of the concerns.
I have to say, I know you said like we're supposed to, but I'm not sure that's clear. We did a lot of research with the VLCT's lawyers, and what they say is what meets the requirement is exactly what I read. So,
Well, why would they suggest it in the first place? Why would the state suggest it in the first place?
I
the
think,
state didn't suggest a door-to-door.
No, the census.
Right here,
No, the census, in order to adhere to that census is to make sure that you're sending out reminders to people to make sure that, another year has gone by, you must register again. It's to keep track of who you already know.
but that doesn't help us with the unlicensed dogs.
Right,
That are in town.
unknown.
Yeah, but again, the state also considers it a very minimal act of civil disobedience to not register your dog. I'm only one vote. I'm going to vote no to going door to door. I really don't think that's where we need to go here. That seems like a privacy violation, and it seems like just making an issue out of something that's not an issue.
See, I don't see it as a privacy violation. I see as him being proactive in one hand. Two, anybody that doesn't know our animal control officer is going to meet him. And if they have questions, who better to answer the questions?
Well, here's a question.
That's true, but you can also
I-
post and say, come meet our animal control officer. People can come and meet them rather than sending them out to every door. We're talking about going door to door through the entire town of Pownal to every household. That doesn't seem like something.
Let me ask a question. Does the animal control officer have the statutory authority to even go door to door like that? Even if we vote yes, doesn't mean he has the right to.
I don't know, but I believe he does.
Yeah, that's how to get the census. You can do
Well,
census by
according to this, the
multiple.
minimum is you send out a mailer.
But it also
That's
says
the
here,
minimum.
it also says, in other words, the census is mandatory, not discretionary.
Right.
Right in the law.
Yeah, but it also says what fulfills
I'm
the
just going off
requirement of
of
being mandatory.
I'm just going off of whether I have authority or not.
Right.
Yeah.
I think there's my opinion, there's a couple of gray areas here that I think it's way above our pay grade to try to make this discretionary now. I have a couple of questions for you.
Okay.
You've already started your dog census, correct? You've already started your door-to-door stuff
Roughly.
to a certain degree?
Yes.
Okay, I think one of the concerns was, whether or not you've written a fine for somebody who has a dog or dogs that is not licensed.
No, I have a written warning.
So that, in my opinion, because we have had or have not had, let me rephrase that, we have not had an animal control officer who has done their job in, I don't know how long. It's been a significant number of years. And now we have an animal control officer who is doing a fantastic job, who's trying to do a better job every time he goes out on an animal control call, whatever it is. I think you probably learn something new most of the time. Okay, most every time you go out, right?
Yep.
I don't think a door-to-door census is a horrible idea. As long as we do it and I'm not saying that you're not, okay, this is just my opinion. As long as we do it in a manner that isn't intrusive to someone's privacy. And to Bob's point, if somebody has a whatever kind of dog, it could be a Saint Bernard that never leaves the house and has a pee pad. I'm pretty sure it's probably the size of a king size mattress, but it could happen. Okay. Well, in their house, as long as we're not being intrusive into their privacy, into that, and saying, oh no, that dog has to be licensed, because I think that's where some of the concern comes from. But I also think that you having an idea of what is out there for dogs, and you know, I don't want to license my dog. My dog never leaves my house, but here's my dog's rabies certificate. If you have a way to make a notation of that.
Do some education.
Do you see where I'm going with this?
I have a packet I made up
I'm sure.
for when I started this whole census thing.
I'm sure.
It basically says right across the top, why do I need to license my dog? And it breaks down the entire process of how to register or get license your dog, why it's important when it comes to inoculating, licensing for, like, when I find your dog running around loose, because I know accidents happens, doors get left open, dogs dig under fences. I know it happens. No matter how good of a dog owner you are, they're going to take off at some point. So that is in the packet. And the other thing in the packet is a list of every one of the veterinarians within a 50-mile radius of Pownal, Vermont. So that way they have their option to go out, pick any one of these vets to get their rabies done. And then if they're not licensed, I'm giving them 30 days to get their dog rabies shot and get licensed. And then if not, then it'll be a ticket. But it's a written warning. They have to sign off on a written warning acknowledgement sheet that I keep in my desk, and I do a follow-up on it when it comes time.
When you go to a door and no one's there, by the way, I totally agree that the reason we're talking about this is because of the fantastic job you're doing. That's the animal control officer.
Yeah.
But when you go to a door and no one's home, do you come back again, or do you leave
I
them?
leave a business card, and on the back it says, please call me.
Okay,
And most people do.
that's good.
Have you, in what limited door-to-door visits you've had, have you had any unruly or uncooperative people?
No. In fact, a lot of them, I started off on White Oaks. They didn't even know we had an animal control officer.
I would imagine that's going to be a common response.
Yep.
That's one of the main
A
points.
lot of people were actually really happy to see me. I had some people ask questions. I was there on the spot. I gave them all the answers they needed. So,
Have you been provided with any form of official ID on behalf of the town as animal control officer?
yeah, a magnet doesn't stick to my truck.
So Rebecca would like to add to the conversation because she spoke to the LCT. She wants me to unmute her.
Okay, fine.
She says, please.
She said, please.
I did say please. Okay.
Please.
Rebecca Dragon. So the concern, just so you guys know, the concern that can come up is if you're going to do a door-to-door census, which is not the common practice in Vermont, but you certainly have the statutory ability to do it. The problem comes in is if you bring a ticket book with you when you do that, you're conflating two activities. One is the census and the other one is enforcement. And so if you're using the census to perform enforcement activities, you are creating a risk, a liability risk, meaning that it was an inappropriate or warrantless kind of search. So you just have to be very, very careful. Most of the ticketing and the warnings and things like that have to be done or should be done separate from the act of going to a door for the purpose of a census. So that's what I want to pass on to you, just to be very careful, because we know we have to cross all of our T's and dot all of our I's with everything that we do in town, legally speaking, to not create liability. So I don't know if you have any questions for me before I mute myself because my family's talking.
That makes good sense to me. We really don't want to conflate the two activities. A census needs to be a census, not an enforcement action.
Right.
And that's kind of where I was going with my questions, which I wasn't sure how to get there, but Rebecca got there for me. And Rebecca just came across my phone, by the way, just now, can I speak? So,
Like,
sorry.
unmute me, I can answer the question.
Yeah, no, it just came across my phone when you were done. So I apologize to you.
No worries.
So would it be best practice if he went and did the census and then
Why not?
just say to them, we would appreciate it if you get your dog?
I think that the giving of the information is essential, and it
Yeah,
sounds
it
like if
is.
he has a
Yeah.
packet of information that he's handing to
Right.
people, and also I hope that packet of information is on the website and Facebook, so it can be given electronically, just like on a card, like, hey, go here instead of pages and pages you're handing to everyone. But if have several copies in case people want it. Most common and best practice for a census is not to go door to door. It says that very clearly in the dog officer manual. However, as I said, you can choose to do it that way if you choose to do it that way. But don't conflate the ticketing with the census, because it just creates this line that could, creates a little bit of risk there, legally speaking.
Like you're entrapping them.
An unlawful search is what.
Oh, yeah.
So I think where I'm standing is I think the census is a great idea. And I think the census with your packet, which I would love for you to get to Tara or Hannah, so that we can get it on the website, same exact packet that you're giving out. And then, and not use it for that enforcement at this time, because we haven't had the animal control officer, and now, like you said, you're getting people say, hey, I didn't even know we had one, where you come from? And I think in my opinion, I don't think there's a better way to get that information out to the residents and dog owners of the town of Pownal. There's no better way than for you to go door to door and hand them a packet and say, here I am, this is my job. This is what your job as a dog owner is.
Yep.
Okay, your job as a dog owner is to have it, your rabies and whatever else, is to get it licensed. Here's the vets, here's how to get it licensed. And I think something that, I don't know, I think we can probably do this now because Julie's on salary versus the fees. I think we could probably waive, I don't know this, we'd have to find out the legalities of it. We could probably waive the fines, but I'm not sure. Because there is a fine if someone missed the April 1st deadline.
It's a little bit.
It's a little bit higher.
Okay, so it's not a big deal. Okay, then that's probably a moot point. But I just think that you've solidified things that I thought already anyway. Get that information out there that we do have a dog officer that and these are your duties as a dog owner, because I would be willing to bet that there are a significant number of people that are dog owners that don't know they're supposed to have their dog licensed.
Yep, right.
Okay.
I do that one a lot.
Every dog owner or animal owner should know that they should have their rabies and whatever else, okay? They really should, and they shouldn't have the animal if they don't.
Correct.
But there's a significant number of people that I would bet don't know they're supposed to have their dog licensed in the town.
And the other thing is, once you've done the census door to door, you may want to wait 5 or whatever years before you were to do one like that again in the future, next 4 years or whatever. We do a mailer. I mean, but at least you're getting out there, you're introducing yourself, putting it out there.
I don't think there's a better way.
No.
I don't think there's a better way. You can have an open house, you can invite people however you want to do it. They're not going to show up. But if you knock on their door and say, I'm Leonard Cody, I'm the animal control officer in the town of Pownal.
How are you?
Well, just from a liberty-minded standpoint, we're putting a requirement onto citizens, and now we're going door to door to make sure that we're, even if we're not doing it as part of our enforcement, we're going door to door and telling people this is what you need to do. So from a liberty-minded standpoint, I would be against the door to door. I'm not against adhering to what the requirements are, but the requirement is not door to door. You can do door to door. But
That little-
just from my standpoint, I don't, that's not what I'm gonna be for.
The requirement says minimum as a mailer.
Yeah,
So this is like a code violation. That's a minimum standard.
So what's the pleasure of the board?
I make a motion that Leonard continues to do the door-to-door with the informational packets for the census.
I'm sorry, I'll wait for the second.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Yes. Can we amend that to say that as an information gathering and information distribution event or
Well, that's what I said with the packets, but yeah, to pass the.
But being very clear that it's not enforcement.
No fines will be
It's not
handed
writing
out.
tickets.
Right, so amend the motion for it to be an introduction purposes and
Informational.
Informational exchange, yep.
yes, of the town's rules and stuff.
Okay. I second the amendment.
Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So you can continue your census with an informational exchange,
Okay,
all right?
yep. Now let's talk kennels. Or lack thereof.
It's not gonna be.
Oh, Kevin.
So we got into a little bit of a glitch.
Yep.
Just so everyone knows, we got into a little bit of a glitch, even though we've already approved a kennel purchase. With that particular company, a lot of the things that we needed in that particular, or in that building were not included in the price purchase.
Yeah.
Or the purchase price. So, you know, the heat, the air conditioning, you know, a bunch of stuff, the electrical inside the building was not included. So, we had to put that purchase on hold from 2 weeks ago, and since then, Leonard and, I know Hannah's been involved in this, and I'm not sure if Tara has, but, Leonard and Hannah, and I think Rebecca a little bit, have been involved in doing some more research, and they're gonna present to us what they've come up with in the last week or so.
So with realizing that the other 4-dog kennel was out of reach, I decided that I could make do with a 2-dog run kennel. That way I can keep myself under budget. I'll be able to use some of that money to maintain a maintenance budget for the building itself, site prep, electrical. It'll all be covered under the amount that the town approved me for. So I don't want to say downgraded, because this is actually a huge upgrade.
You've adjusted your plan.
Yeah, so this one, Pinecraft, is 8x16. I've actually gotten a hold of the owner and the president of the company about expanding out the floor plan, which is on the second page. There is a 4-foot feed room. I've asked to have that extended out to 8 feet, and he hasn't given me the quote. He's supposed to mail me back tomorrow with the extra quote, but even with the extra 4 feet added on there, I can't see it going past my budget price already. So the whole thing will definitely fit within my budget. And with that, I got almost every possible option this company offered. So I went with the Elite Series, which is an upgrade to the insulation in the entire building. It's a more decorative trim style, so it's going to be more aesthetically pleasing to people who can see it. It adds an extra window so we can get some natural sunlight in there too. I went with the metal siding, so that way it's going to be indestructible, basically. Metal roof, which is also insulated too, so that's going to make sure that the heat and cooling is awesome on the inside. Added electrical package, it's right there. I made sure that it was up and running. Breaker box, light switches and outlets are included. Split unit heat and AC, so that way I can heat the building and cool it down in summertime when I need to. Radiant floor heating, because everybody knows that floors get super cold, and even though they're dogs, I don't want to see a dog getting cold, so the entire building will be radiant floor heated.
Maybe I'm gonna stay in it.
I don't blame it. Does it keep getting better?
You keep talking, I'm moving in.
Their standard for the upgrade chain link fence is 11.5. Most regular chain link is only 9 gauge, so this is actually a couple steps up, so it's gonna be tougher on the inside. Again, with the guillotine doors, that's where I have the option to, if the dog's out and run and I want to clean it and the dog's aggressive, I can just literally pull a switch, door shuts behind it. I can get in there, clean the box, yank it open again when I need to. And then there was a couple other options I didn't even bother going with because I wanted to keep it under budget. But I really think this is the way we should go.
And that total is at 22,748.
That's without the 4-foot extension on the.
What's the 4-foot extension for?
More room,
Yeah, because if you think about it, 4 feet,
items.
this is where you walk into the building.
Yeah.
And there's literally gonna be a dog box here, and then this is the outdoor area. I asked for another 4 feet because I've got 5 or 6 different size animal crates in my garage. I'm going to need a water system set up inside there for the animals. I'm going to need food storage, cleaning supplies. So that's why I needed the extra room.
Okay.
And make sure we do.
Still have $15,252 without the extension, so there should be plenty of money left in there.
Yep.
So our site work, just so that you know, I talked to Joel about this after the last meeting. Okay, and you probably have to, I'm not sure. Our road crew can do the site work,
Okay.
okay? We have access to 1.5 stone versus 3/4, but it saves us money because it costs us nothing,
Okay.
okay? Well, it doesn't cost us nothing, we've already crushed it.
Sorry.
But anyway, it's
Right.
much less expensive, we've already, you know, it's at our access. Our town crew can dig the underground power and put that in, from the building at the transfer station.
Yep.
So your site prep basically is gonna be a pretty minimal expense.
Yep.
Because our road crew and Tom and whoever else, we can do that in-house.
And this is gonna have a smaller footprint too, so where it's not gonna be as big as the last building.
So do we have specs from electrician or what size conduit they're gonna need to drop in and all that for,
I don't think,
I haven't gotten that far yet.
we haven't got that far.
or just, I mean, cause we should be able to lay the conduit, letting the electric.
Yeah, no, that's right. We'll put the conduit in.
And it's not very far either.
Right, it's not-
Tom showed me where he wants it to go. It's maybe 100 feet.
Yeah.
At the last meeting, you overestimated what you were thinking, and it
Well,
was like 800, right?
Right, yep.
We try to do that to put a buffer in.
Well, now I've actually got leftover money, so we can buffer. Right.
So I think, you know, I think that the outside expenses, now that we have the heat, the electric and the AC installed into the building itself, now our outside expenses are pretty small.
Yeah.
Joel also has a water tank that's for potable water.
We're gonna have to figure that out,
That's
but
usable, so we don't have to purchase a tank.
yeah.
Okay, we'll have to figure out a pump and that kind of stuff, so we'll have a minimal purchase there, but we'll have to purchase that, but we already have a tank that's accessible to us, so we won't have to purchase that.
And with this
Just so that you know.
With this company, it's 10 to 12 weeks out from when we place the order, so.
So that's better.
I got another one.
Do you know what the deposit is?
That's what I was just gonna ask.
I saw on the website, I swear I did, it was 30% down, but I went through and looked at it again earlier and I can't find where it said that.
So 30% is $7,000, give or take. By the time we add the other 4 feet.
Yep. I really can't see that being,
No, I'm just
Much
using
more.
round numbers, you know, 30% of this right now is $6,000, so a little over, so. You know, by the time we add another, you were talking between $6,000 and $7,000 if it is 30%,
yeah.
so.
But there were other options that we,
Yeah.
That's right, this was, go ahead, you did it, you presented.
Yeah, so we looked at this kennel. I've been looking all day long. If you go to any website and you can find this exact kennel, I'm guessing there's a manufacturer that makes them a kit. These smaller companies put them together and then sell them. So I've been looking all day. I've put specs together, everything that Leonard was looking for. This company is the cheapest one to do it through. And then this is the next option. This is the biggest residential dog kennel. This is the smallest commercial. Once you get into commercial, you have to pay for shipping. So this number right here doesn't even include shipping. There's 4 kennels, so there's no feed room.
Right.
There's a lot of
Literally,
specs.
you open the door behind every single run to
Yeah,
access
there's
it.
not even all the specs that Leonard was looking for. And this is the total. So
Another 50
really what Leonard found,
and more.
yeah. Looking through, websites today, this really is the cheapest option to go with, and it looks like it's gonna be practical and work well for what you need.
And you did that because to meet the purchase policy.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh,
That's right. So we have three, potential
bidders.
Oh, you have 3
purchase
estimates.
points.
Right.
Yeah, and which satisfies our purchase policy at this point. We have the original, we have, what's the other one, Northland
Yeah, Northland
Sheds
Sheds.
and Pinecraft, and, so we've satisfied that part of our purchase policy. So that we can vote on this tonight and take care of it.
Go ahead and make a motion that we purchase the Pinecraft 10 as presented by our animal control officer. And nice work.
Thank you. Second it.
Any more discussion?
The way you just worded it is we're authorizing him to purchase this as is without the extension.
Oh, that's correct. It's the as it was presented and as it is laid out
Okay.
here for the cost of $22,740.
So we're saying that even if they get back to him with a reasonable price to add on the extension, we don't want it?
Do we want the extension?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, because he's gonna need it for the storage.
The room.
Please.
That's what,
Either that or
as he had presented it.
having to like get a storage unit over there or
So if they
something.
come back with a quote of like under a certain amount, then maybe.
Well, he said as he presented it, and he's presented it with the 4-foot extension.
So right now, this is
Well, it's presented with the 4-foot.
Right.
So this is an 8x16, you're proposing 8x20.
Correct.
Okay. Hang on, let me just do a little couple real quick things here.
That there doesn't do
I
it.
thought we had a price on the extension.
No, they're gonna get back to me. Hopefully tomorrow I'll have an answer. I really can't see it being a deal breaker, money wise.
So if you go the 32. Yeah, I don't see it being a huge amount of money.
I mean, you're talking about
But
fifth.
we don't even have an estimate, right? I mean, we don't know. We have,
We have the base price with all the options so far.
Right.
And as soon as I hear the quote, I will let everybody know. With the extra 4 feet added.
Yep.
So do we want to get preliminary approval at a certain percentage over this price? And if it's over that, he has to come back before us? Or do we just want to say,
Wanted originally was 37,000,
Well, I think.
and this is only 22, so if
But
you
it-
add another, make it 30,740.
Yeah, but we already approved a dollar amount. The voters approved it.
They're charging $8,000 to add 4 feet. I'll do it myself.
Well, no, I'm just giving you, so you don't have to come back.
I don't.
I knew where you were going with it.
Well, if they're watching, they will charge the 8,000.
There's a lot of people.
I mean, if that's the case, even if they come back with a ridiculous amount of number, I could always ask for a shed for the storage, for the,
From the school or
Grades,
something.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was kind of what I was kind of wondering. Would we be better off? It's probably more of an opinion but for you. But would we be better off with a separate storage shed for all of your crates and
I'm still thinking about that 4 foot though.
the water?
I'm a big fellow.
No, I don't disagree. I'm trying to get this I'm trying to make this thing fly tonight.
Yep.
Okay, that's what I'm trying to do.
But I think with the water situation, the cleaning supplies and food and stuff, I don't think 4 feet's gonna cut it on the inside.
I don't want to talk about this again, no offense, but I don't want to talk about this again at the next meeting. I want to make this fly tonight and be done with it.
Because you're gonna want. You're gonna want.
That's where I'm coming from.
You're not just gonna lay the bags out because you're gonna have rats.
They're gonna be
I mean, they
pinned
gotta,
up on.
so
I got plans
you
for
gotta
that.
have room for that, you know, that's,
I got plans for all that too. Wait and see. We'll do a grand tour when we get this thing up and running.
definitely.
I guess I'll rescind my motion. Let's decide what we're gonna motion here.
A 15% increase on this. If it were to be 15% more, it's $3,400, 34, 12, 20 to be exact. That's 15%.
It should put you at 26. Still well under what was approved.
Right.
But then add in the foundation, other things. We do have to consider that even if Joel's doing.
Right, no, that's right, because we're paying our road crew.
Right.
That's right, no, that's exactly right. So 20% is 45, 49. 60. 10% is obviously 22. 74, 80. These are just round numbers, or, numbers that we can work with to try to get this thing improved for tonight. And right now, I don't see where this is gonna be a huge increase. Would the board be comfortable? So if it was 20% more, just so we have everything exactly how it should be.
The only problem is if this is a kit that they're all getting and they put together, will they be able to add
No,
it?
they do custom work for every one of the kennels. That's why I emailed them and asked them about it.
So with if we went with the 20% increase, potential increase for the added 4 feet, okay? That brings that total to $27,267.60. Okay? So I'm gonna steal yours.
You said that was 20%.
That was 20%, Bob, yep. So if it were a 20% increase, bringing it to the $27,000, it still leaves from Hannah's number of 15,000, it still leaves us almost 11,000 under budget to have for some maintenance and site work and incidentals.
Yep.
That we would have to purchase. It still leaves us, that's if it's a 20% difference.
Correct.
Increase. It still leaves us almost 10,700 and change.
Hey, Leonard, can you, if the 4-foot extension, where does that go? That's here, right?
Back here.
That's back here.
Yeah.
So it's interior space, right?
Yes.
It is essentially taking an 8x16 and making.
So all we're doing is adding 4 feet right here. Off the feed box.
I don't see where that's gonna make it a huge increase, but like I said, I mean, that's just round numbers. Actually, it's not round numbers, it's pretty accurate.
Right.
The only thing I could think of that would make it be more is that I don't know what their criteria is for being residential going to commercial. Because as soon as you go into their commercial kennels, the price
for
jumps
the-
way up, even
the
though the
size-wise,
square
you mean?
footage is really similar in a couple of their options.
Yep.
So that would be the only thing that I don't know if that would change
Wouldn't
it,
need a
but.
bigger heater or anything for that small.
Right.
So,
Well, I don't think,
Oh, here we go.
This one.
is the whole building heated, Leonard, or is it just the floor under the docks?
The whole building's gonna be heated, but heat rises. So that's why I wanted the radiant flooring in it too.
Okay, so they would have to include that in that 4-foot section.
Only under the dog box.
Their heaters are also set up for a certain amount of square footage, which it would still fall under.
Yeah, the
The
mini
one that
splits.
Leonard selected.
Right.
Nice.
So
I was
if
looking
we
at
did,
that. BTUs on it.
what I was doing here was just trying to get a sense of the other ones that they offer and how big they are. So if I'm looking at this, a 12 by 18, this is an 8 by 16, so that's more than what we're adding. But I think that's added to the exterior space, right, not the interior space.
And they added more dog runs.
But just to kind of get a ballpark, it seems to me that this is bigger, 29,000. That's the one?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you factored in all the other things.
Yes.
Okay, oh boy. Because this is a substantial increase, right?
Mm-hmm.
Going from an 8 by 16 to a 12 by 18 went from 11,700 base price to 29,170. It wasn't a 20% increase. It's more than double.
That might be what Hannah is saying,
Yeah,
that it's gone from residential to commercial.
But they might still keep this residential because I don't know what their criteria is, what changes it from residential to commercial.
But in perspective, are the
Cause you keep scrolling down.
Are the dog boxes in the chain area the same size?
Yeah, the only thing he's
And
changed.
they all,
Every one of these kennels has different box size.
right, that's what that was my.
Nothing's changing on that.
Right, no, that's
There are some that are residential that they have like a shed connected to them.
Yeah.
And I didn't think those would work for Leonard because they didn't
That's
have
probably closer.
separated dog boxes.
Right.
Yeah, well,
But the
that's what I was
square
just
footage was
thinking.
bigger, but
So
the
from that-
cost wasn't
Right.
significantly higher because
That's
they were still under
probably closer
residential.
And
comparison.
that unit.
So
again,
our,
square feet, so.
I gotta retract that. A closer comparison, I think, is probably this 10 by 18, which brought it from the base price, 11,000 something to 13,500. So I think we are safe.
Yeah.
Well, our
27.
project manager for the schoolhouse just texted me. Apparently Eric's watching. He said adding another 4 feet to a 16-foot building would be approximately 25%.
Okay, so and that's gonna bring
So
us
that would be about 28,000.
Well, it's on the 8-foot
over
side.
28. Yep.
What's that?
It's on the 8-foot side.
And that's just going off what a contractor says now.
Right, no, that's right, no, that's right, that's, you
But
know,
it's involved.
Because they might cut us a deal with all the options that we are getting.
right, so that's, a ballpark number would be 25% coming from Eric, which is,
Can you cap it? Can you just say you approve it?
Yeah, that's
As long
what-
as it doesn't
yeah.
exceed 30,000 or 30?
that's exactly where I was gonna go with that. Stop stealing my ideas.
I'm just trying to move.
Well, somebody's got to stay. Tara wants to go home, damn it.
Before 11 PM would be great.
Yeah.
Come on, you didn't take a nap today?
I'll make the
I didn't eat
motion.
lunch either.
I'll make a motion that we purchase the Pinecraft that was presented with the 4-foot extension, provided it doesn't increase the total cost more than 25%. And that means that puts the cost that was here at a cap of 28,000, let's call it 500, 28,435 is the
Yeah,
calculation.
she kicked both our butts on that, Bob, okay? She's had it done for a while. She's been stuffing this paper in my face and it's with that $28,000 on it, all right? Just so you know. Thank you.
Got a motion and a second, so.
Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Bingo.
How's that?
Outstanding.
No.
Thank you.
Thanks, Anna.
Leonard, when you hear from your guy, let us know.
Moving along so we can get out of here, everybody. Buildings and grounds job posting. So
Not retired yet.
So my only question on that after reading it is, it says full-time, what are we considering full-time? 32 hours?
hang on and we'll explain it.
She's up and ready to
He
go.
wants to
I
read
know, I
tonight
have
too.
such a pinch, I'm sorry. I'm over there doing squats, sorry.
So.
I wish you did that on Zoom.
Bob and I met last Wednesday with Joel for a while. And because we had talked about an RFP for a cleaner for the building here. We've talked about an RFP for garbage removal in different town places. So Joel had followed into that discussion And one of the concerns that Joel had, and jump in anytime.
Yep.
One of the concerns that Joel had was winter maintenance on this particular building, what that was gonna be like. Because now it's not just a couple of passes up to the town hall. Now it's 2 parking lots that have to be plowed
And all the walkways.
and the walkways and everything else. So in that discussion, which happened a while ago, and you know, then Bob and I had a discussion with Joel. This is kind of what we came up with Tara. I shouldn't exclude you here either, because we came up with some things. So let me get down through, and to answer your question, Ange, is probably 40 hours a week.
That's what I assumed.
That's what we assumed. So to clean and disinfect the town offices. Now, this particular job posting, as we talked about it, this particular person would start probably at 6 o'clock in the morning. Because they would come into this office or this building every day. And they would disinfect and clean door handles and high touch surfaces. Is that, am I using the right terminology? Okay.
COVID friendly.
Yep, the COVID cleaning type of thing. So they'd work here every day, 5 days a week for 2 or 3 hours, whatever it takes to take care of garbage and some, if there's maintenance or some repairs, shouldn't have a lot of repairs, but there's a lot of things that they need done still.
You got somebody designated to do the shoveling, the walk.
Yep.
Which we didn't have before.
No, go ahead.
Okay, and it combines that because that's not really considered full-time, it also combines it with the road crew and would fall under Joel's purview. We can turn this into, by combining those two positions, because he often needs a part-time or a part-time individual during the ebbs and flows of plowing and road crew work. That person can do both of those things, and it makes it a more desirable position, because now it's a full-time position. Now, we would have to give benefits because it is full-time, but I think that just makes it more likely that we're gonna hang on to somebody. And I believe this would be more cost-effective to combine the two. I hope I explained that well.
Yeah, so basically what we thought was the person would, so let's take the plowing right out of it. So let's go into, summer months, whatever, spring, fall, summer, when we're not doing plowing. The person would come in here, they would do their cleaning every day, take care of garbage, do whatever we have to do. Tara would probably have a list for them of things that needed to be done, we need to hang up a bulletin board, we need to do whatever, blah, blah, blah. Then they would fall into going to work for Joel for the rest of the day. Now, he had plenty of things that a person can do. Weed eating around guardrails, maintaining sanders, plowing or scraping and painting and the sanders that have been in their trucks all winter long. They've been, sprayed out, cleaned out, but now we can paint them and
Pressure wash them.
That's right, pressure wash and do whatever we got to do. Joel said there's plenty of stuff for a person to do where our 5-man road crew,
That way they can be working on spring projects.
they can do whatever else they need to be out doing. This person doesn't necessarily have to have a CDL because we're going to probably put them in a pickup for the plowing anyway. As far as plowing goes, we do hire part-time plow help as it is. So this particular person could end up taking the place of that part-time plow help. During the daytime, they're in a big storm. Well, okay, that person's plowing. Where the part-time plow help, we don't contract out anymore like they used 2 years ago. We hire a person and they use one of our vehicles. So that's kind of where this came from. And where it developed, was because we need a cleaner, because we need garbage removal, because Joel was worried about plowing and sanding and taking care of shoveling the walks and all that stuff here. Because, even in the snow, we're gonna have to be open for business.
Yep.
So
The
It
person's
also
gonna have to be
includes the park
flexible.
as well, correct?
it includes all of the town properties, Angie, great question.
Yeah.
And we left that part out, actually, sorry.
Yeah, good
It
question.
includes maintaining the Center Street Park,
Ball field.
the ball field type thing, all of that kind of stuff.
Strobridge, Hoosier Bend Trail maintenance. that kind
Exactly.
of Stuff.
Taking
Okay.
care of all those garbages, you know, on a regular basis.
Okay.
To do a definition of maintaining a
Painting is a big thing that might take people away from like the wastewater treatment facility. Takes them away from their job to.
That's right. You know, they could go into Darcy. You know, Darcy could say, I got a bunch of painting at pump station down by Mac Molding that needs to be done. Boom, that person goes in and starts doing the painting, through whatever, till it's done. It's kind of a building and grounds person for all town properties, not just the town hall or just the highway garage.
If we adopt this, how is the budgeting and supervision, how is that gonna fall? Because if he's working technically for Joel for half the time and for the town hall half the time, road crew has their own budget. So how are we gonna handle payroll on that?
Well, and Joel addressed that. He would actually work in Joel's department.
Okay.
So it would all fall under that purview.
Okay.
but line item is
And
under
he's-
buildings and grounds.
Exactly.
Like a utility person's the easiest way to classify it.
Well, that's why I'm asking about how budgetarily, how is that gonna fall?
And then that's a good question, Brian, and that's, Joel said that he or she would fall directly under Joel.
Okay.
So it'd be under the road crew.
It would fall under the road crew.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I know Joel's got a ton of work. I just want to make sure the person's actually going to be available to do the stuff at the town hall. Because I'm sure initially Joel could keep the person busy full time.
Joel, a lot of this stuff, to be perfectly honest with you, a lot of these things, you know, when we were, you know, the four of us sat here, Tara, Joel, Bob and myself last Wednesday. And a lot of the things, you know, the maintenance and repair on the buildings, like I said, even though we don't have a lot here right now, there's gonna be some maintenance. There's gonna be, you know, whatever it is. The garbage removal is a big thing. I mean, we don't have anybody doing that right now.
And we get calls of garbage on the side of the road and the road crew is having to go and get that. They don't have the time. Like the chair that's at the end of the street.
Well, I know Joel's reached out to me over the years.
Knock on the door and say, go pick up your chair. I can do it. I have no problem.
Go get them.
Well, don't get that red-faced about it.
I'm irritated about the chair too.
Yeah, no kidding.
Last
Yeah,
summer,
yeah.
I looked at his toilet for the whole summer. Now it's next to the house.
So that's the building and grounds job
Okay.
in a nutshell.
And I think your concern was to make sure that the priority is on what we were trying to do here. This, at a minimum, this gets done, and then with the excess hours is where you can go do,
Right.
What about reviews and evaluations? How would that be handled? And
That would, again-
disciplinary action, all that stuff? 'Cause-
that's all under Joel.
Okay.
All of that would come under.
I just want to make sure we have all this lined up ahead of time because we've kind of fallen on that before where we haven't had it clearly established.
That's a good point. That would all come under.
I would assume anything happening in here, it'd be reported to
Yeah.
Tara. Tara would contact Joel.
Okay.
And I think right now we have a super line of communication going with all of our departments and with Tara and Hannah as well.
Those are that was,
No, they're great questions.
This is a good question.
Yeah, and great concerns.
Like, John has a question.
Yep. John Bushy has a question.
I'm John Bashy. I just wondered, do you guys have a pay rate on it yet? That already been figured in? or is
Yeah.
that-
18 and a half.
18 per hour.
thinking about applying, aren't you?
Actually, no, I'm actually gonna ask my stepson. He works at a place now, but I know I'll give him a better position, better job. So,
Well, he'll get no favoritism from us.
And I think that's, you know, I think to solidify a couple of your thoughts, Brian, and which just kind of popped into my head, to be honest with you. I think in the interview process, if we decide to go this route right here, I think Joel and Tara should probably be involved in that interview process.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just a, you know,
I would say definitely gotta have Joel involved.
yeah, right, it's falling under Joel, you know, and I think having Joel and Tara involved in that interview process would be smart on our part to have that in there
Yep.
for any applicants.
Ask the right questions.
So that job's been posted or with this?
No, we have to approve
That's
it.
what we're- Okay, that's what I was.
We have to approve it.
Yeah, you have to approve
All
the
right.
position and the job posting.
Yeah, because we're creating a whole new position in
Right.
top, so we have to approve everything on here. So basically, we'll put this on the website if it's approved. But basically, the town of Pownal is seeking a qualified individual for buildings and grounds. Full-time position under the direction of the highway department at a pay rate of $18 per hour. Job duties include clean and disinfect town offices. Maintenance and repair on buildings, grounds, equipment and machinery, painting, garbage removal, snow removal, plowing, shoveling and salting, lift 50 pounds regularly. Required qualifications are a valid driver's license, a high school diploma or equivalent. And all interested applicants should email their resume to Tara Parks at executive.assistant@townofpownal.org.
I'll make a motion that we post for this position as stated.
Second.
And then, I'm sorry, you have to say any discussion?
Any discussion? Sorry, Bob.
I think, well, also who'll be writing up the full job description? Yeah, I mean, I realize we don't need it for the posting, but we will need it before.
I would imagine Joel and Tara.
Joel and I can work together.
I think Joel and Tara should be able to sit down and write up a complete job description. And I think one thing that I want to make clear, that we can put that in the job description, maybe it should go in this as well, is that,
A little bit of mechanical ability.
well, I'm not worried.
Duties as-
There's a liability issue with that. I want to make sure that in this job description or this posting, that it's not just for the town hall, it's for all town properties.
Yep.
Well, buildings is plural.
Right, building
Well-
and grounds. is-
Right, but when we give the job duties include, maybe it should say will include but not limited to.
Yep.
Or something like that, because we want to make sure that they know they have to may have to go to wastewater. We want to make sure they may have to go down to Strobridge Park. Different places, Brian, that's where I'm going.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that we know, well, hey, nobody told me I had to get on.
Yeah, that's not my job description.
That's right, you know, I just want to make sure that
That's the collection of
whoever
garbage,
applies
picking up
knows
trash.
that it encompasses all town properties.
Yep.
So maybe it says job duties, will include but not limited to or whatever, I don't know.
Yeah.
And other duties as needed.
Yeah.
Something to that effect.
I just want to
Then
make
you and
sure.
Joel can get together and hammer something out.
Yep. And he approved us too before.
No, I know, it's just, you know, and that's an oversight by me, to be honest with you, because I don't even think we thought of that. I mean, we probably said it 100 times when we were talking in that meeting, but we didn't put it in the job description about all town property.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Well, we don't have a job description yet.
Well, that's true.
The-
But even in the posting,
Yeah. That's easy enough.
any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Number 11, camera research.
That's Hannah.
Hey, welcome back.
There's one up here.
You might as well just stay over here.
That's true. So I will give each of you a packet.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
These trees.
Okay, so I spent a lot of time looking at different cameras for surveillance of illegal dumping. I looked at so many cameras. There are some trail cameras that are really highly rated, but then when you go into the cellular changes the megapixels and it distorts images. Some are good during day, but not good at night. I came up with these two options that were the best overall. They also were two of the most reasonably priced ones. The Moultrie Mobile, this one that has the Delta in the bottom. This one, from the specs, you would think that this one would do better, but from what my research looking into Bushnell Cellular, they have better reviews. The pictures that I've seen from the customers are better, and at night it has better image quality, which I think is really important because most of it's probably going on at night. They have like an 80-foot range. These two right here, both of them do not have the cellular or the solar panel on them.
Right.
But in my research, I found that those smaller solar panels, first of all, it's hard for the light to get to them. Second of all, they don't really supply enough juice to keep the camera going for a long time. So even though it does have the solar power, the camera's only lasting customers like maybe a month, even less sometimes. So if you look through the packet, there are solar panels that you can buy. They come with cables. They attach to the tree. They come with the brackets. Then there's aux cables. You hook it into the solar panel to the camera. These are bigger, so they can supply more juice to the camera. And they also, since they have a cord, you can put them somewhere else. So say your camera's being blocked by the leaves up at the top of the tree for the sun, you can put the solar panel in a different spot on the tree. The solar panel isn't secured, but they do have cables you can buy to like put it around the tree, hook it to the solar panel, and then lock it. And then there's also a lock box included in both of these. The lock box is for the camera only. And then it doesn't come with like a padlock, you have to buy that, but that's a really minimal charge. So the Delta Moultrie Mobile comes to $224.97. And the Cellucor from Bushnell comes to $282.97. And both of them have really similar data plans as well. Bushnell, I think, is $14.99, whereas Moultrie Mobile is $16.99 per month. And both of them do offer deals where if you do them annually, you get a little bit of a price cut.
Is that per camera or is that?
It is
Yeah,
per
both.
camera, but they do offer deals if you have more than one camera.
So this $282.97 and your $224.97, that is camera, solar panel and lockbox. That's what I thought. Okay.
That's for the larger solar panel.
Yes.
Does the solar panel have any protection from overcharging the battery?
When the batteries are, when they run out, it goes to the internal battery that's in the camera. So.
But I'm talking about the overcharging, so it's not boiling the battery internally.
They are made specifically, so like the Bushnell has one that's specifically made for it, and they did say with buying off-brand solar panels to be careful of that because it can happen, so there must be something so that.
That's something we gotta check.
Yeah. But if you get the battery powered ones, you're gonna be changing the batteries quite often, yeah. And they only last, from a lot of the reviews, the cellular trail cameras, if you have a battery powered only one, they're only lasting like 2 to 3 weeks. So somebody's gonna be out there every 2 to 3 weeks because the cellular takes up a lot of juice from it.
Don't last that long.
How many, I bet you during the winter they don't.
Yeah.
I don't know what you guys were
Mine,
thinking, but I was
put it in
thinking
last November.
like probably starting
still working?
small with only 2 to 3 cameras and then see how that works. I was talking to Tara about it, and so I was looking at research at other towns that have done it. Most towns that have done it just started, so they don't have a lot of statistics yet about if it worked, if it just deterred somebody to go somewhere else. But once if people don't know they're here and we start taking pictures of them and then we find them and they're talking to their friends, people are gonna be more apprehensive to just go out and dump their trash wherever.
And these are pretty portable, right? I mean, we can
Yeah.
put them into
Yeah.
3 different places.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say we had 3, and then of course, every couple of weeks, go out and change it up.
Yeah, surprise, they
Nobody
move.
knows where they are.
There's a perfect job for our buildings and.
I was just thinking that.
Give them a 40-foot ladder and have at it.
If my calculations are close, or if the estimates are here, and this is about $1,500 a year, but I don't know how long the cameras themselves last. You know, how long before somebody destroys one or it just wears out.
Yeah.
So the camera itself would be $300 a piece. 282 is what you're thinking. This is the better camera, correct?
Yes.
If we're thinking that this is the better camera and it is approximately, I forgot what we said it was a month, for about 15 a month, one was 14 something, one was 16 something. But for the service is about 500 a year. I'm guessing a little bit high, so that, you know, hopefully we'll come in under that. So each camera would be about $1,500, and let's assume they have a 1-year life, $1,500 a year.
Generally, I've got some that are 3-4 years old and still running, so.
Okay, so maybe we don't have to.
I've got,
Camera.
I don't even know how many cellular cameras from a different company.
Right,
than
me
these
too.
two. But some of those are definitely 4 years old with no problem. Mine, I don't have the solar package. So we changed batteries.
I got 2
But
of
if we're putting these in an elevated position, which we probably should.
Right.
So that you need a ladder to get there or whatever.
I'm sorry, it's about 200 a year for the surface.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, I was.
Because I pay $120.
I didn't know where you were getting $1,500 from. I was like, what's he talking about?
Number, like, wait a minute.
Yeah, no, right. So,
Because the service is per camera.
Right.
right. That was gonna be my question to you, the services per camera, because I know there's some out there that have, but I think I gotta bet that it's all gonna balance out at the end.
Right.
They have a service plan of X number of cameras per year, but it's all gonna balance out.
Right.
I really believe that, because then why wouldn't they? So,
And that's what I meant. I'm sorry. So if rounding up the 282.97 to 300,
Right.
3 cameras is going to come to about $900, a little bit less. And the service would be about 200 a year. So that's per camera. So that's going to be $600. So the first year is at 1,500. Then if the cameras keep going, then it's a continual cost of $600 per year.
Is that unlimited?
Yes.
Okay. So I know some of them.
And it's stored right in the cloud, right?
Yes.
For 30 days usually. But you can take and pull them out and save them.
Yes.
Yeah.
and so I guess we would cross that bridge when we come to it, but it would come to someone that we could probably set it up so it comes to the town. You know, because it comes to a phone,
Yeah.
mind you.
Put it right on the website. Do you know this person?
Well, it's all pretty
Hey,
good.
that'd be a hell of a deterrent if it pops right up on our.
High in the
Yeah.
tree, and it has an 80-foot range. Can you tilt a trail? You can tilt
Yeah.
them, okay?
Yep.
All right.
Put wedges on.
Because
behind
they
them or
do
whatever.
have options where those ones don't work quite as well, but like the no flash, and then people wouldn't know they were up there.
Right. Well, these are probably no flash, actually.
Yeah.
They're low glow.
Animals.
I think- There's another one I looked at, Spy Point. They have the option where you can put, it can be flash or no flash for the night.
That's what I have. I have
Spy
five.
Point, yeah.
Yeah, I have those. Only because, they were so inexpensive when they first came out. That's why I
Yeah.
handed out them. It's like, to be honest with you, now
Work, so
I could give you a list of them. There's,
I got Moultrie.
I think there's 15 of them in there right now. I don't even know. I lose track. Half the time I don't know where they are. But, I think it's, I don't know how else to catch the people that are dumping stuff in these places other than to have a camera and to find them. You know, we already have that ordinance in place. We know where our problem up and down Route 7, Route 346 comes, okay? We
Right.
comes from, we know where those come from.
Right.
But on Burrington Road or down at the Pownal Beach or Indian Massacre Road, or we can name, 15 places, each one of us, different places.
Rebecca said be careful talking about location.
So,
I don't know.
but there's multiple places that we can put cameras. And we really and truly only need to catch a couple people here and it's more than paid for itself.
As long as we take it seriously and actually do something with these people and not
Well, I
just,
think we should, Brian.
oh, yeah, but we're not gonna do anything.
I think we owe it. I think we as a select board owe it to our residents of the town to start cleaning this place up. Drive down Route 7 and look over the bank.
Yeah,
Look up
Anywhere.
the bank.
we owe it to the residents and we owe it to Joel and his crew because they shouldn't have to go around spending their days picking up garbage out of the ditches.
And ourselves.
Yep.
We all live here.
Yeah.
So what's,
Bring up volunteers.
how many do you think we should get at first?
Oh, I think three is,
Three.
I think Hannah's idea of 2 or 3 to start with is a great idea.
What do they got that deal? If you buy 2 or more, they're only $99 each
Yes.
So, yes.
on the Bushnell.
5 Point is really, I have a, packet in here for them as well. I didn't print that one, but they're really similar in cost. So if you guys use 5 Point and you know those work, and if they work at night, what's better than having some that work,
I showed you.
I'm looking at reviews, there can be paid reviews online, there can be people saying from other company, but if you have them and you know them.
I tend to always go to the worst reviews and see what the worst people have
Well,
to
that's
say.
on Moultrie, that's what I found, their reviews online, like on their website were really good, but if I looked on any other website, they were not the same, so.
There's this 5 Point picture from last night of a fisher.
Oh. Yeah, well, it seems like you'd be able, if somebody was dumping though and they had a vehicle there, it seems like you'd be able to see a license plate.
That was 3:53 this morning of a fisher.
Yeah.
So, the fisher's pretty clear. And that it's probably,
Do you have, is this the one you have? Or you don't have solar powered one?
I don't have the
Yeah,
solar
okay.
powered ones. Nope, I don't. Mine are all battery.
But
But it's the same exact camera.
Right.
Except for mine are battery and that one's a solar power.
Right, and you charge the battery ahead of time and then before you put it out, and then the solar maintains it.
This one, actually, the specs are all really
Solar for a
similar.
couple of years.
The megapixels are a little bit smaller, but I also read on an article that if a camera advertises more than 12 megapixels, it's not really
It's
more than
not
12
fast.
megapixels, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's good.
There's a Bobcat.
The specs are really.
I can show you whatever you wanna see.
For everything.
Yeah.
In 5 Point, I have a monthly thing.
I think they're all pretty close in price.
Yeah,
15 a month.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they're really all the same.
And that's unlimited, right?
Yep.
Yeah, cause I pay that.
Well, the better one's about $60 more, right, per camera. That's this one, right?
Yes.
But you would recommend this one
Yeah, but
over this one?
over that one, yes. But like I said, if we have people here that have used 5 Point, they work, Mike just showed me some pictures. I feel totally comfortable going with that one as well. The reviews were good. I have 2 people sitting here right in front of me saying it's good.
I've had good luck. I mean, I've seen the reviews, some of them that people have not had the best of luck with them. Sometimes, I don't know about you, Jamie, they can be a little quirky to set up, but I think you're gonna find that with any of them.
the only
Do they have solar?
negative that I
They do,
can,
and they have a small solar panel on it, or they have the larger panels that you can connect, so.
yeah, the only negative is if you have the intensity too high when it's raining or snowing, you got a lot of pictures of that stuff. But other than
A lot
that,
of raindrops.
yeah, that's,
Yeah, and no
I mean,
matter,
and you want, when you're
I think
setting.
that's no matter what you-
yeah, no matter what camera you get, you're gonna get some glow photos.
Can you adjust that stuff remotely or do you gotta?
Yeah, no, you can adjust it all
Okay.
right on the things there.
Rebecca wanted to add that it's a cheaper alternative than serving papers and going the court route.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She said you'd like to hear that.
She knows you too well, Bob.
Yeah, that's the main page, and then you hit the camera, and in there you can go to status and all that and change all the set points inside there.
Now, do they only send photos or can you do like a live stream video?
You can do videos
Yeah,
too,
you can do videos too.
but,
Yeah, so the more expensive, 5 Points can do a video.
yeah.
The less expensive ones don't do video, but
That
I've got a couple.
Solar one and.
An unlimited plan comes with like, I don't know about SpiderWhite with these two, it comes with a
They just
certain
got a
amount of
little-
videos
they
that you
were.
can have per month.
So,
Now, do they do cloud storage?
Yes,
Okay.
it's free. Free cloud
I was
storage.
gonna say, cause if you got 3, 4 cameras all streaming to one phone, you're gonna fill in internal storage pretty quick.
Yeah.
yeah, it's cloud-based, and then you say what you want out of there
Do they auto delete the cloud storage after a while on
for
you?
30 days.
30 days?
And one of these actually does it for a year. I think it's Moultrie.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about SpiderWhite, but they keep the photos for a year. So if anybody did ever shoot up the camera or anything, you at least have the photos.
And I think majority of them, if somebody was to steal them, have a GPS, especially the cell type, have a GPS thing and you log in and you can't get to it, or you drive by and saw the camera was gone, you can mark it as stolen. And then they can do a trace and contact the local.
Well, and they also shut it off, so no one can ever use it.
Right.
So if someone steals it, it's useless.
Right.
Well, if somebody steals it, if it disappears, it's probably because they're dumping and don't want to get caught.
Right, I'm just saying.
Not because they want a camera.
And unless they're really,
See the flash and go,
yeah,
oh.
unless they're really good, usually it's already sent the picture.
Yeah, that's true.
Because that's how I've got mine set up as instant versus, or you can set them up like 12 times a day or whatever. I mean, you can set up different intervals and whatnot, but
Thank you, Muni.
I'm fine going with the ones recommended by Mike and Jamie.
like I say, I don't
That's fine.
have,
No, it's a third option. She's got it up on her computer over there.
They're basically all the same price.
yeah, they're all,
It's all similar pricing.
I think it's very similar. I think
the software's probably similar.
I'll entertain a motion for, some cameras.
I make a motion that we, buy 3 of, what's that one called? Spy Point.
With the same options
Yes.
as Hannah presented with the other two.
Yes.
Second that.
Any more discussion?
We want to make that motion to use on a trial basis. Well, I did, never mind. That's
doing a purchase right
fine. If
now.
it doesn't work out, we just won't, we'll
Are you
remove
getting
it.
glary eyes from me? I'm getting tired.
That's good.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Select Board Planning Commission member voting discussion.
I just want to state, that this came up just a few months after I was first elected, and the statute has not changed. The questions come up multiple times in the last 4 years that I've sat on the board. And this time, due to the way the question was asked, we had our liaison do it. And so we paid somebody to take and do a response for, I don't know, between 5 and 6 hours of, I'd like to nip this in the butt myself because it's a state statute. It's there for the planning, DRB, and
So if I can,
his
Zoning.
position. Thank you.
Because if you're gonna take somebody off the planning, then you have to go by the same token for him for zoning.
Right.
We are a small town and it says in VLCT that you can wear 2 hats. Not that I always agree with it, but we're allowed to use 2 hats. And because of a handful of people that don't think that VLCT is the right way to go or agree with them, they're there for us to use, and they use lawyers, and they know what's going on, and they understand the laws, and they're not gonna tell us the wrong way. And so I would like to just say that we need to stop this nonsense and stop costing money to the townspeople for all of this stuff going over and over and over again, when there's just a few handful of people. And also, I would like to remind anybody and anybody out there, you have every right to talk to any one of us and ask us any questions, but please do so through our legal email, not personal. And if you're talking to somebody personal through your personal email or your personal phone, that's not cool. You should maintain respect, responsibility to this board and use what you're supposed to use, our email, period. And that's the last thing I'm going to say on that.
I've got a couple of things to say. Just for clarification for everybody. I know that when I first got on the board, ex officio, everybody thought that it meant non-voting. It doesn't. Non-voting and ex officio are two different things. Ex officio is the designation given that if you hold a position, by virtue of holding that position, you also hold a different position. So some examples of that, or at least I believe these would be valid examples, would be as select board members, we are also the sewer commission. We are also the board of health. We are also members of the civil authority. And in those cases, we are voting members.
Correct.
So that's what ex officio, that's the purpose, and the purpose of that explanation was to understand what ex officio is. Now, if you're you can also be non-voting ex officio. If you're non-voting ex officio on the planning commission, you do not count against the total. You don't count against the 7 total.
Right.
However, there is no statute that says a select board member who serves on the planning commission cannot be a voting member. And in fact, let's use Brian as the example, just randomly. Using Brian as the example, the only way that we could make him a non-voting ex officio member of the planning commission is if he either resigns or we vote unanimously to remove him or make him change his designation. Being elected to the position of select board does not change your designation on the planning commission.
That's correct.
That's because it was already appointed prior.
That's correct. And the statute that was cited, I had to read it a couple of times. It was 24 VSA 4322, I believe.
Yes.
What that meant was if we were a rural town, which we are not, by the way, we're over 2,500. But if we were a rural town, that would mean all 5 of us would be non-voting ex officio members of the planning commission by virtue of our position on the select board. It would not count against the 7. It would be in addition to the 7. We would be in addition to the 7, but we would be that non-voting ex officio capacity. But we can also appoint someone from the select board to be a voting member of the planning commission, should we decide to do that. We can appoint non-voting ex officio members of the select board or from other boards to the planning commission, should we decide to do that. They would be in addition to the 7, wouldn't count as part of them because they would be non-voting. So again, I know I'm being a little redundant, but I want to make sure that it's clear. I hope that's clear enough, and I hope that everybody understands it. And again, and the other thing is I've always thought of this as a rural town, but I guess by legal definition, since we're over 2,500, we're actually fall into the urban category.
Yep.
And that's where we can appoint up to 2. That being said, I think I'm going to send in a letter of interest to be a non-voting ex officio member of the planning commission. I think I would like to be on that in the non-voting role.
So with that being said, Tara, can you put the statue up on our website, please?
Sure.
Thank you.
The statute can go on the website. I think also, on that,
Multiple statutes.
Right, it's multiple statutes, actually.
and
It might
Can I
be,
include maybe Rebecca's?
yes.
Yes,
That's what I was
please.
gonna say.
Yes.
Include the response from VLCT.
VLCT, yep.
About, from Garrett. And also I apologize, I forgot the other guy's name, the other gentleman's name that was in there.
Carl.
Carl.
Yeah, okay, Carl. They both said the same thing because in this case it is Brian, and because you were on the planning commission before you became a select board member, you continue in VLCT's eyes, you continue as a voting member on the planning commission. You don't have to give up. In a nutshell.
Just adding one more thing, it wasn't just the VLTC. We
No, that's
also
right.
reached out to VPIC, Vermont Planning Information Center. It got the same answer. So that's two different organizations who specialize in knowing these things and answering these questions for towns, and got the same answer.
Any more discussion? Perfect. Municipal planning grant.
So I basically just need you to officially approve the municipal planning grant that it was submitted by the planning commission last fall and was rejected.
I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second. Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Congratulations.
DRB, which is Matt Gardner, but Matt's not feeling well tonight, so Tara and I can take a stab at what the DRB is looking for. From the select board, which came about from the last, public hearing. So basically, one of the things that was brought up to the DRB in the last public hearing was that they don't have, we need some legal advice. Whether it come from VLCT, probably the place to start. And then maybe go to Bob Fisher or whoever, maybe the VLCT will recommend somebody, I don't know. But it was brought to it was stated to them that they cannot grant a variance, which I think is totally wrong.
Okay,
The DRB is just looking for some legal clarification that says, yes, we can.
okay.
Have they checked with VLCT first or no?
No, because that costs money and they came to us first. We're the ones that.
Okay.
We have the operation.
That's,
Ability.
we have to approve that money or that, if we have to go to Bob Fisher,
Right.
then
So
they wanted to seek legal advice.
Right.
The other question that we need to find out, which I already know the answer, but we want total clarification on it, is when there is a public hearing, say for a subdivision or whatever it's for, a business or whatever. I believe that only the abutting property owners can comment in the public hearing, other than under public comment, then anyone can have their comments. But when you're in a public hearing, hearing both sides of the debate, the only abutting property owners are allowed or at that point to speak until you get to the public comment portion of your public hearing.
Well, the budding properties does include across a roadway.
Right, but it doesn't include somebody 3/4 of a mile away or 2 miles away or across town.
Right.
That's
No,
the legal definition of budding property.
Right, I'm just stating it's
No,
not just a budding
Right, no,
on a stone wall, but also.
but
across
somebody
the
that lives 8 miles away,
Correct.
probably only under public comment should have a comment, not in the debate itself. And we just need legal clarification on that.
Allowable comment. Okay.
So just a couple of questions that the DRB had.
Email Sue.
So we need to reach out to the VLCT to ask those questions, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and then if they direct us somewhere else, we probably should make a motion to authorize Tara to, or Rebecca or whoever to go to.
Now, as far as the variance question, is that from new or a pre-existing? Or you want it?
There's nothing we can do. I don't think there's anything we can do about pre-existing.
Okay, I didn't know if that's what line they want.
No, new, moving forward.
Okay.
Yeah, moving forward. I don't think there's anything you can do about pre-existing, that's already there. So whether it's agreed upon or not, that doesn't matter. It's new moving forward.
Okay. I may ask both of them though. Because if we see a change of use or on a property.
Yeah, it's just, they're just looking for clarification on what we can or
Yep,
can't.
I just figured, well, if I'm gonna send an email, well,
Are you gonna, who are you sending an email to?
Sue sending
Oh,
VLCT.
so you're gonna send that out?
Yeah.
Okay.
Will you CC me on it, please?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, once I get a response, I can.
Well, that's it on that, unless we have to, unless the Sue send us to other legal advice.
Right.
Then I guess we would need to clarify that, but.
Yeah. She's done that to me before. The one thing that's.
So do we wanna authorize that to happen tonight if it comes back that we have to do that? Just so that the DRB knows where they stand? Do we wanna authorize Rebecca or whoever to reach out to Bob Fisher or whoever?
Upon finding out, yeah.
Just so we don't have to do this again.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I'll entertain a motion to, seek legal counsel if directed.
Rebecca will do it, she said.
Huh?
Rebecca said she can do it. Or two.
Oh, that you'll do the whole thing?
No, I believe all she's saying is that she'll pick it up and she'll follow it through. So
Right.
she'll first reach out to VLCT and then if we authorize tonight to escalate to Bob if the VLCT can't answer it. My understanding of what the VLCT will and won't answer, if it's simply a question about do we have the statutory authority to do this, that, or the other thing, they'll answer it.
Right.
But they won't come in and weigh in on he says this, she says that.
I think we can get it done through the LCT, but.
Yes, I believe we can.
I'll entertain a motion to seek legal counsel if needed after reaching out to VLCT.
So moved.
Second.
Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
That motion's including our liaison, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
I'm sleeping.
The ordinance draft from the planning commission for review and the next steps. So we got that ordinance, given to us. I think we need to be able to review it,
Yep.
and set it up for the 12th. And then, ordinances take a while, obviously, to get in place. John, did you want to say anything on that quickly? I mean, you've been here for a long time, so.
Just that we did clarify a bunch of the stuff in it, so there's nothing about vehicles, that kind of stuff should be in there now. It's all been redone. I think you guys could go over it and just take time and, we were gonna suggest or ask if you guys wanted to do a sit down at some point with us, if that was something you wanted to do or would like to know more about how we're talking about it. We can maybe join the meeting and have a look at both.
When's the next planning commission meeting?
Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday is our next one, but we have one on the first week and the third.
First and third, yeah.
Okay.
Our next select board meeting would be the 12th. You have a meeting Tuesday, May 3rd?
Yeah.
You guys can take your time and do it. It's not, we're not
Well,
on anything. It's just if you want to.
So to save time on the 12th, would we be smart to have a special meeting on the 5th? Just for this, to meet with the planning commission, just for this one agenda item?
Yeah,
I think that's a good idea.
If we have any
5th is a Thursday night, so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, if we have any questions, we can hash them out right there.
Does that work, John? You guys can have your meeting Tuesday and then, we can set up a special meeting for the 5th.
Do you want to do 7 or 6 or?
I would prefer 7, that way I can actually have dinner with my family.
I'll call you again during dinner.
I would appreciate you don't.
That will be.
Three meetings for you next week. You guys normally go 7?
You really want to do 3 meetings next week?
Well, you have a DRB next week too?
Yes, we do.
I think we should put a limitation of an hour and a half on it or something. Can we do that? There's no.
Yeah, let's have a
If
hard
you guys
stop.
want a special meeting, we won't do one on Tuesday, we'll just have a meeting about that.
Yeah, we're not putting it on another agenda. We're not putting any other agenda item.
No other agenda,
So
items, just this.
A hard stop at an hour, so call it 7 to 8 or something like that.
So what are you thinking, John? Just cancel our planning commission meeting and join them?
Yeah.
All right.
Reschedule it.
Instead of
Just
Tuesday, we'll
reschedule
just do Thursday.
Okay, hey, that worked for me. All right,
Well, yeah, and I didn't realize you had a DRB next week.
yeah.
I knew you
I
had.
was just thinking we'd be here 3 nights in a row.
I know, that's.
And I'm taking the planning commission
wasn't
off then.
I'm trying to get away from that because
Yes.
what I'm really leaning towards is going, because we have so many agenda items and we're running late every night. Then we come in here, is I'm really jumping in, trying to add another meeting a month and I don't want to do that, but
Whatever.
Because we really should have a 9 o'clock stop date.
Yeah.
I'll pumpkin, you'll be all right.
No, we voted that in.
We didn't.
Yes, we did,
When?
when I was chair.
Well, you're not sure.
That is true. I do remember that. I watched that meeting.
A 9 o'clock stop, and I think it's only fair to our staff. They have been here all day.
I know, that's why I'm trying to get through this.
Unless a supermajority of the board votes to go longer.
Let's,
I think an hour.
May 5th,
For 1 hour.
hard stop at 8 o'clock.
7 to 8.
For the proposed ordinance from the planning commission on household trash.
Yeah.
Please and thank you.
Planning commission / special.
The next one shouldn't take very long, we're almost done.
And we're classifying that as a select board meeting with the planning commission invited.
Yes.
Not a planning commission meeting that we're at.
Exactly. It's a
Right, I just want to make it clear so people know which hat I'm wearing at that meeting.
It's a select board meeting with the planning commission specifically for the proposed household trash ordinance.
Yeah.
Okay?
So,
And that's how it will be warned.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
so moved.
So I don't want to get into a crazy amount of time on this one because we could spend a lot of time on it tonight, I'm sure. Marijuana cultivation and retail discussion. The state has come out with their guidance in the last month or so.
Needs more learning.
This is something that we're going to have to investigate. We're gonna have to make decisions on, and
Just
it's,
in my preliminary reading, there's really not a whole lot we can do as a municipality. We're really limited on what we can regulate and what we can and can't
All
do.
through the state.
Yeah.
that's
It
right,
is all through the state.
that's right. But there are certain things that we have to,
Anything we do has to be done through zoning and it has to be for everybody. You can't craft anything special just for marijuana. Correct.
that's right. But we have to figure this out as a board. Well,
There
Allow,
are things that we have to do if somebody's applying to,
and we have an application right now.
yeah.
We already
We
do.
have an application. I have,
Yeah, and people,
as the zoning administrator, I have received multiple calls in the last 2 or 3 months about this. So this has to be dealt with.
So-
And should be dealt with anyway, not just because it has to be, it should be anyway.
I just want to point out one thing that I found really odd, the different classifications of licenses. The whole school zone thing only restricts retail. You can
Right.
technically get a license to grow it right next to a school.
right. That's been,
I found that really odd.
I was surprised too.
Point blank says you can't restrict that
right.
on the.
Plus, because a lot of schools, I would imagine, are around farmlands. And
in
that's,
definitely.
The only thing about the grow part of it, from what I read, Brian, which is limited from what I read so far, is that they have to have it so secure fencing.
Yeah, there's the whole thing.
There's a whole
the
thing.
Security and all that.
But still, so just, I just wanted to put this on, I just wanted to put this on people's radar.
Yep.
We do have an application right now that Hannah sent me the other day. And,
For a dispensary or for growing?
a micro grow. I also have another, interested party, that's talked to me about a micro grow in a retail store. In the same piece of property. And that has just surfaced within a week.
Okay.
So,
The lower one.
She must not know she's unmuted.
so,
I'll mute her.
that's, We just have to, you know, I just wanted to put that on everybody's radar.
Right.
Please do some research on it.
You gotta take and learn.
Are we going to create a new commission to address this, or are we gonna just try to tackle it through?
I haven't given it a super ton of thought.
Okay.
This, like I said, just kind of popped up within the last couple of weeks or whatever, 3 weeks. You know.
I read about half the packet at the beginning.
Right, so I wanted to put
I just got my
I
info.
wanted to put it on our radar, and I think we need to put this on May 12th agenda where we absolutely.
Well, it
Could add a lot of
says
things to
right
that.
in the regulation that you can't delay an application.
I know, but we're gonna limit May 12th agenda to, I don't wanna add.
I also would like to have it done the Friday before the week starts so that we can warn the meetings.
Yep.
Sooner. So that might help cut it down.
So what you're asking is you want the agenda items the Friday before
Yes,
the meeting?
yes,
That's fair.
please.
Fair enough. That'll put things down because Monday and Tuesday I won't be adding things, will I?
That's an emergency.
Okay. Town hall update. Let me get into my email and read from Eric.
I might have put it in your bank. Maybe. It's all mixed together.
This is the update from Eric. We met with the utility companies to review the schoolhouse move. The plan is in place, just need to set the date where all the parties can do the work. They are thinking early June. Met with the tree company about limiting the trees overhanging Center Street. Working with schoolhouse moving company for on-site visits so he can tell us what they need to do, preparation for the move. Working with the engineer on the schoolhouse floor loads to bring up the code stamp drawing, being done now. Excavation company starting next week, finishing the underground pipes, finish grades, topsoil, and etc. Concrete company ready to pour the generator pad, stairs, the schoolhouse basement floor, once they're ready. Buried propane tank will be installed May 9th. The generator, AC condenser ready to be installed once the pad is installed after the propane tank. Preliminary schoolhouse demo on the outside will start next week. The chimney, ramp, whatever needs to be done, the staircase to be, it's gonna start next week. I know that one of the things that we talked about was this big spruce tree when whoever comes in to do the tree work, because we have to limb Center Street to get the schoolhouse down Center Street. Is taking that spruce tree down at the same time. I'm done with that. That's,
Well, it's diseased anyway.
it's a disease tree and then my plan, as long as, you know, my plan with board approval, of course, would be to replant a tree in that area that we can manage, you know, a 12 or a 14 footer or whatever, you know, a sizable tree you can still see coming up the road and, you know.
Are you thinking another evergreen type tree?
Yeah, another Christmas tree type thing. I think it's a great idea. I think it's, you know, but something that's manageable and we can keep it manageable.
A little farther away from the well.
Yeah, long term, you know, and maybe we move it to a totally different location. And then I don't know if everybody knows about the stairs that we were talking about, the concrete stairs. So when we blacktop, Joel's gonna re-blacktop up by the carriage barn and the church and all that at the same time. So the stairs are basically coming down from that upper area by the church.
Down to that lot.
Down to this lot right here. So if we have an overflow of parking, people aren't walking down a grass bank, they're coming down
That'll be handy on voting day.
yeah. They're gonna be coming down, they would be coming down a set of concrete stairs. And we're going to go as wide.
Think about putting a railing up through there to kind of direct people toward it?
We'll have to.
Well,
Well, on the stairs themselves you will, but I mean along the edge of the road up there. That way it kind of funnels people.
I think you gotta do 6 foot each side.
Yeah, I don't know. Whatever we do is gonna be up to code, that's for sure. Yeah, it'll be code.
Any direction.
Any questions on the town hall stuff?
I have a couple things. Don't leave town hall stuff yet.
Cool.
Did you see
Angie,
market
Angie, I'm
analysis?
done with the town hall.
I'm gonna be super fast.
Yeah.
Did everybody see this in the
Yes.
email today?
All the comparative analysis.
Yeah, and the fact that it's gonna be tough to figure out what to do with it because it's on the same lot as the church.
Yeah, so there's technically no property with it, the footprint of the
Right.
building.
Right, it's the building. So I would like Hannah and I to brainstorm other use ideas and maybe.
Well, if Leonard hadn't come up with the idea for the kennel there, I was gonna suggest we turn that into the kennel.
I can't do that with neighbors.
Yes, you can. There's soundproofing.
It's getting them in and out.
I think that's a great idea.
Now that we have a base to work off of. we
Yep.
can-
I think it's a great idea.
Some ideas for leasing, renting or whatever. we wanna
Maybe
do
we
with it.
could encourage one of the dispensaries to set up shop in there. Charge them.
Never know.
Hey, you can, there's,
Hey.
I think Tara and Hannah,
You gotta remember, it's a historical district.
everything so far, everything that Tara and Hannah have tackled into has really, they've
What'd
really
you
done a
say?
super job, so
What did you say?
I agree with them
Your dad and dog.
tackling into this project and brainstorming
Never.
it.
Totally. I'm so looking forward.
No
to
way.
this recommendation.
I bet my life on that.
I can come up with some good ones,
Is that all you had for town hall?
even more.
We need the entryway stuff.
Perfect.
So you all have copies of this, I think. This is the thing where we push the buttons and we can let people in from our desk.
In the rain.
I was just thinking that.
It's a little different. And then this would be where we post our hours, people outside of the door.
That glass face with the
So
little
people
white
can
ink
kind
in
of
the letters.
I've seen those, I was part of it.
There's the magazine rack that we put permit applications and stuff on in the entryway, so they don't necessarily have to come in. And this is the payment box that we discussed, that will be in the entryway, not outside.
What's the total value?
I just added all up.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
Don't worry, Hannah's fingers go 100 miles an hour, she can figure it out.
She looks like she's doing something else.
730, and what's this one? Just under 1,200 bucks. Am I close?
That's about right.
So moved.
Yep. 1,033.11. And 11 cents.
Does your
This,
letter board come with letters?
yes, this will need to be installed by the electrician. That's the only piece that's missing. And he was gonna give us an estimate if you approve us purchasing this.
Now, does this include the door latch mechanism? Because it looks like it's just a reader and,
It's just the reader and the screens.
and
But the door latch, I would work with Kelson on trying to figure out which, because that is set up to work that way. That there's a box
they're
already,
supposed
it's
to be
already wired
Yes.
and everything for it, so.
And the one, I can't remember what the mechanism was.
Yeah, it's like an electronic door lock,
It's got two
something like that.
latches.
Yeah.
Self-transformer.
I have a motion on the floor.
Second.
Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Is that it for you on town hall?
I believe that is it for me in town hall. Yes,
So with the latch and the step-down transformer, you're looking at 1,200 bucks.
yeah.
I'd like to open up for public comment at this time.
If you want to speak, you can either raise your hand or unmute yourself.
You recognize and get your 3 minutes.
Hi, I'm just speaking here. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Can you state your name, please, sir?
My name is Douglas Kolakowski. I was just commenting towards out of curiosity, what are your regular zoning laws in terms of setbacks from property limits, if that's probably the route that will be proceeded for the cannabis cultivation part of things? Thank you.
I don't know what state's in here. Haven't got that far.
I don't, I don't understand your question, I guess.
No, I just heard you guys mention that you didn't know what you were gonna do about the cultivation aspect, but you thought that maybe the standard town setbacks would apply. So I was wondering what those standard setbacks are. Is it 50 feet? Is it 75 feet? Is there any, do you guys know, or can you point me in the right direction to find that information?
Let's
Well,
see.
they would be in our zoning bylaws, but I don't think in the zoning bylaws, there's any setback on agricultural use. And that, I believe that's what this is gonna fall under, is that an agricultural use.
The regulations on the state level, it not considered a crop, and agricultural laws do not apply. It goes under your normal zoning laws.
Well,
If I read it right, just a quick read on my part.
well, we gotta check, we gotta do some more research. We don't have
Rebecca said
it.
it would be in the state.
I'm unmuted if you want me to answer. So
It's under, it's under,
cannabis regulations.
He has it right.
Oh, too many people talking.
Sorry.
He has it right where it's not regulated under agriculture now unless
It's not.
the Senate Bill 188 passes. And then in that case, it would be under agriculture. But as the state has defined it, it says that the cultivation is legal anywhere in the state, regardless of town bylaws. But in order to want to comply with town bylaws, I would at least want to know if there were any standard setbacks, if it's not agriculture, as to what the town would, deem it as. If it, I don't know, it's not a building, so it's hard to do. But if say you were to put up a pool, I know like a pool is usually in my town is a standard 50 feet from the property line type of thing. So I didn't know if there was a basic standard of measurement that might apply to other things that we could just not take in stone and take your guys' word for it, but just to kind of get some idea of what that standard, minimum was.
Well, I can answer that. In your particular area, it's 25 feet side, 25 feet side setbacks and 50 feet in the front. And I think it's 25 in the rear as well.
well, the other thing we gotta do, there's a sub statute that we need to look up that we don't have in front of us right now. Not statute 7 VSCA 869, and so that'll give us more clarification on that also.
Does that
If you
help
guys
you out?
want, I can research and do a whole kind of bullet point of what's required for both cannabis micro growing and retail. So for you to throw up on the website for inquirers.
Yeah, and of course, part of that research, there's probably a frequently asked questions out there already somewhere.
Yeah.
So we can start with that and add to it.
Right, I don't have to reinvent the wheel.
Correct.
That's probably a good idea, Rebecca.
Yeah, sounds good.
Thanks, Rebecca.
Thank you, Rebecca.
Any more public comment? Anybody raising their hand?
I don't see anybody. Anybody want to unmute?
I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
All those in favor?
I thought about voting against it.
Cat TV is celebrating 30 years of community media. Help support Cat TV's next 30 years by becoming a member today. Your membership will help us continue covering meaningful, local content. Thank you for supporting your local community media station.